Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am actually going to be filming a makeup tutorial and I was a little hesitant to do this because it is more of a formal video and I'm much more comfortable with vlogging, and I tend not to like when I attempt formal videos. So we'll see how this goes. I was going to film a video on some sort of eye look, and I was going, I was at my little makeup station and I was doing like my face, like just the base, and I was going to just do foundation, concealer, and put on brows and then be done. And instead, as I was doing my brows, so right now I have foundation and concealer on, and then I started to do my brows and I was like, oh my gosh, wait a second, why don't I do a look based on this, which is what I was using on my brows. So I'm gonna have to rub out some of the product because I did like part of one brow, like a few strokes. I was like, oh wait. So this is the Linda Hallberg, Infinity palette. And if you do not follow Linda Hallberg, she is amazing. If you're looking for more everyday makeup, not sure she'll be for you. She does have some wonderful tutorials on very simple things, and she actually, even if you do want everyday makeup, I would still follow her because she does have some really in-depth tutorials on how to do very simple looks, but then she can go on the very other side, like the absolute other side of the spectrum, and do extremely dramatic looks, like her entire body will be pink or something, you know? Which of course I really like, but you know, not everybody's into that. She has started her own makeup line, which is amazing, and one of the very first products, okay, the plastic dropped, but one of the very first products in that makeup line was this Infinity palette. And so it's got two highlighters, two blushes, this sort of matte cream shade, a cool tone matte brown, a black, and then this warm kind of terracotta brown. And this palette is meant to be something that you can use on its own as well. She does tutorials on how she does her entire face with it, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing today, because I do that on a regular basis, is simply only use this palette. And so I wanted to give a demonstration on how I use this palette to create one look. And I'm going to be doing a very easy everyday makeup look, and then I think I might also do an evening look with this as well. So we'll see how this tutorial goes. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I brought the camera. Ooh, I almost dropped my. Oh wait, does this have a mirror? Where's the palette? Oh wait. Okay, so I'm just going to use the mirror of the palette. I was going to use my hourglass mirror, but there's no use in doing that when this has a mirror. So anyway, I'm going to start with brows, and I zoomed in a little bit closer so you could see. I brush my brows upwards, and if you ever see me, and I've done my makeup, I usually do have my hairs brushed upwards. And then what I'm going to be doing is taking my little handy dandy brush from my Benefit Ka-Brow. I've wiped most of the product off of that, and I'm going into this shade right here. It's a cool tone brown. It's called Cigar, which I think is the perfect name. I think honestly that could not have been named better. And what I do is follow the natural line of my brows, and I just define the under part a little bit. I don't do a dramatic brow. This is just kind of how I do mine. So I go right under and I make strokes, and then I'll kind of, as I'm doing the strokes, then I'll do one long one and define the underside of the brow. And dip a little bit back in. Powders are a little bit easier to use because they're more forgiving. And then I will define the tail of my brow, because I don't have a very good, nice tail when I haven't been to the brow bar in a while. And then I'll run the excess powder through a little bit and turn my brush. So instead of my brush being like this on the brows going this way, I will turn it so it is facing upwards, or like that, do upward strokes. and that's all I do. Just slightly more defined. And then I'm gonna do the other brow. Now obviously the palette does not come with clear brow gel, so I am using the Ready Set Brow. And I again brush all the hairs up, and then I kind of go along the tail, make it a little bit sharper. Awesome. And okay, so the brows are done. Now I'm going to prep my eyelids. Let's zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so now you're nice and close. Oh, and on my face, so I have MAC Face and Body, and then Maybelline Fit Me concealers in any areas, and on the under eye, I used a Laura Mercier, like the last bit of this Laura Mercier translucent powder. On my under eyes, I didn't do much concealing. I probably should have, but I'm not looking for a real dramatic concealed look today. And then what I'm going to do is go in with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer to prep my eyelids for shadow. Then I'm going to take this brush right here. This is, I believe it's by Crown Brushes. The label is rubbed off. It's a dual-ended brush. I'm going to go in with, ooh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Mafi? Oh, that's gonna be embarrassing. M-A-F-F-E-I. I will leave that name on the screen. Pat down any creases. I'm going to put this right over the eyelid. This is that cream shade, that matte cream shade right here. I'm going to put that all over the eyelid. And actually, I'm going to go in with my finger and do that. Make sure the color is all on there. And this is a bit dark for my skin tone. I have yet to really figure out the use of this color. I use it as a color to blend out. Normally I use my face powder to do this part where I just kind of powder over my eyelids before shadow. But I wanted to use all of only colors from the shadow. Even though I use face powder under my eyes, so I probably could have. But anyway, so I go through and I'll blend that out with this blender brush. And I touch my lid to see, make sure that it's nice and powdery, ready for powders to go over it. And that just leaves a nice base for the shadows. Then I'm going to go in with Cigar on that same fluffy brush. This is a Zoeva Luxe Soft Crease, number 221. I'm going to go right in the crease. I always, if I am working on a client or something, and they were asking about eye looks, I always recommend starting, like, if you have one shadow in your collection, have a matte brown, like a nice cooler tone, like actually more of a neutral tone matte brown, and use that as a transition shade. No matter what eye look I'm doing, I use a matte brown as my transition shade. I love the sound of airplanes. I am actually kind of flicking that outwards to create a more winged out shape, because that's what I want to do today. If you're doing a, if you don't want to do that, just when you're blending, stop here. Just do kind of windshield wiper motions, but I want to flick that color out a little bit. Wonderful. Then I'm going in with Zwicky, which is the very warm brown. I'm kind of going in that same area, slightly lower though, on the lid, and just buffing that out. You don't have to use two browns when you're doing like an everyday look. This is going to be very, very simple, by the way, when you're doing an everyday look. But we will be using this color for our bronzer, and I know that's kind of scary because it seems like, ooh, here we are, because it seems very warm, but it'll be fine, I promise. And going in with the color that you use for your bronzer is actually a wonderful technique to really mesh all your entire look together. So I'm going to, I do have another like fluffy brush, but I really like this one. I want to use it again. So I'm using my color switch to switch that out. Going in with that, ooh, I'm not doing a good job with this. Going in with that matte cream shade, tap off that excess, blending this all over. Then I'm going to take this Zoeva Soft Definer brush, kind of flat but fluffy at the same time. I'm going to go in with Virgo, this more yellow highlighting shade. And I'm going to tap off the excess, and I am brushing this right over the bottom lid part. I'm pretty sure I just blocked you from seeing it, but this is what I'm doing. Blend that in with my fingers. I do use my fingers a lot. And that just kind of lets there actually be something under there, or on the part where we didn't put shadow. Then I'm going in with this angled brush. Don't know where this is from. Would not recommend it anyway. It's kind of cheap, but it's the one I have in hand. And then I'm going to go in with Fornax, which is this matte black. This very, very deep black. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to press that into my lash line and use it as a liner. And now I don't actually use liners on a normal basis. I do normally, if I want to line my eyes, use powders. So this is not me like making do with what I have. This is what I do on a regular basis. And on my outer corner, because I have such small eyes, you can kind of see the difference now. I go a bit thicker right on that outer corner. So, and this really makes for, when you put mascara on, it really makes a lot of volume near that area. And then I'm going to actually, I almost never wing. So I winged that out a little bit. I don't usually put wings on my eyes, but I wanted this to be, I want to add a little bit something to this. So you can absolutely leave this as is. You can skip the line or whatever. But a lot of us like to do wings or would like an easy wing, and I wanted to demonstrate that here. This is a really soft way to do a wing using a powder. It's not as harsh. You still get the wing shape, but not quite the harshness. And so you can already see that when I open my eyes. And I'll show you something. So when I'm looking straight at the camera and straight into my mirror and I open my eyes, my wing is quite low. That's fine. When I do this, I still have that shape that I want. What I'm going to do is just clean that up later. And I will show you how to do that. Now, to make that wing a little bit, add a little bit more depth to that, I'm going to go right on top of it with the matte brown, or the Zwicky. Zwicky, yeah, what we are going to be using is bronzer. And what this is softening up that color, and then it's adding a little bit of warmth because I want to make my eye color pop. And it will also do us well when we want to kind of mesh those colors together. So now when I open my eyes, it's a little bit low right there. So I had to grab my beauty blender. What I'm going to do is just look straight, brush it away. That makes a really sharp look, brings it up a little bit. And then what I will always do, I always like to blend my upper eye look with my lower eye look. So I'm going to go in with the colors that I used. So first I'm going in with Cigar. I am using quite a large fluffy brush. I'm not afraid of a nice blended out lower lash line, but I would use probably something a little bit smaller, small and fluffy if you were, if you don't want to use something this large. And I'm just blending it right up and following that wing. Then I'm going to go in with the other fluffy brush that I've been using into, I'm really bad at like showing the colors, Zwicky, that warm brown. I'm going right along the halo of the eye. And this creates a very round shape. I did go a little bit low with this lower lash line for an everyday look, and the everyday person I probably wouldn't go this low. That's just kind of how I like it. But then I went over everything around the edges with that warm brown and the fluffy brush, and that meshed everything together. So I'm going to finish this eye and then we'll go ahead and go to the face. Okay, so now for the face, the kind of the fun part. So first, I'm going to go in with a duo fiber brush in Cigar, and I'm going to kind of create dimension in the face. Slightly contour. I don't normally contour, but for the sake of this video and using Cigar, it is a great contour shade. And I'm going to be doing kind of the easy way of contouring, the subtle way of contouring, and so that's why I'm using such a fluffy brush, to make sure we're not getting a harsh line. I'm going to do the fish face because it's the easiest way to find that line. And brushing on the color. I am using the viewfinder as a mirror, and this also helps me make sure that the color is showing up on camera. So you can see that looks pretty harsh. So what I'm going to do is take this brush, blend that out tremendously, and then I'll keep the color there. I know it looks scary. I'll take the excess on the brush on the temples, and then I will be pretty harsh with around the jawline. This creates a nice carved out jawline. Then I had to grab my brush. I'm going to use the brush that I used to powder my face, and I'm gonna go in and blend this with nothing gentle at all, because I don't want any harsh lines. And from the side it looks quite nice. From the front it does look a bit spotty, but that will be fixed once we put on blush and bronzer and everything. So we have a slight contour, very subtle, just adding dimension back to the face. Then I'm going to go in with this very large brush. I usually use a smaller brush to bronze, but that is dirty, so I'm going to be using this one. I'm going to dip it into Zwicky, and I am going to bronze with this. Now I am pretty pale. I do have fake tan on, but I am very pale. I think that this color, you have to be a little bit careful when you're bronzing. If you are paler, I would probably bronze with Cigar and use Zwicky as maybe to add warmth to areas of the face, like a little bit, or just use it on the eyes. But it is a lot more forgiving than it looks. I'm going to take that on my brush, really like hit it off the brush, and then I'm going to go in and bronze the face. I do this all over the face. I usually do focus it on these temples, and then I'll go right so on that hairline. And it is a very pretty color, you know, if you want to add some warmth, it's gorgeous. I do go on the neck usually because I think it blends really well. And this big brush allows you to do it very, very quickly. Whoop, and gets my hair everywhere. And then sometimes I will go right over my nose, especially in the summer, kind of along this whole bridge area to create that summer tan look that I'm a big fan of. Finally, I'm going to go in with, oh, my camera cut off. So sorry if the zoom is a little bit different, but I'm going to go in with Andromeda, which is this pink. It's got a little bit more peach in it. This is definitely more of a true, gosh, almost, it's got some purple tones in it, pink. Oh, there's somebody walking outside and they distracted me. It's got a little bit more peach in it, so I'm going to use that on an angled brush. I love using angled brushes on the cheeks. And then I have a lot of redness on my cheeks, so I actually don't focus my blush on the apples of the cheeks. I like kind of take it and then I go right back here, and I use a very little amount of blush. Sometimes I don't even wear blush, so that's why I use such a little amount. And I will do this in an upwards and back motion, going on the apples last. This is because, again, I have a natural redness in the cheeks, and I don't really want to accent that redness. Sometimes I feel like if I put blush right on the apples, it almost looks like I forgot foundation there. Okay, perfect. Then, as a final step, I'm going to dip my finger into Virgo and press that in to the places I want to highlight. I do usually use my fingers or like a light brush for highlighting because I like a subtle highlight. I do actually, I really like using cream highlighters, but your finger gives a little bit of warmth, and as you're pressing into the skin, it does allow for that to kind of mesh with your skin a little bit better, so it's not just sitting on top. Okay, so I'm going to go finish everything, which means just putting on mascara and a nice lip, and doing my hair, and then I will be back to show you the final look. Okay, so I finished my look. I used Blink mascara. It is the tubular mascara, and then on my lips, if you can't tell any difference, it's how I like my lips. I use my absolute favorite lip combination. It is the, and I hate lipstick, by the way. I hate lip products. Like, I don't usually wear them. Like, I'll wear this, and then as soon as it wears off, like, I'm not gonna reapply it. Like, this is it for the day, most likely. Whew. I use Estee Lauder lip liner in Tawny, which I cannot get enough of, and then MAC Hue, lipstick in Hue. Yeah. So anyway, here's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope this tutorial goes up. We'll see when I'm editing if I like it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and post it, like, even, well, we'll see. The rest of my tutorials, I do think that I'm going to be doing voiceovers instead of talk-throughs. I just thought it'd be easier for this one to do a talk-through, but now I feel like it's gonna be really, really long. So yeah, let me know what you think about this look. Now I'm going to be taking awkward pose shots so you can actually see the look. And so we'll see how that goes. Let me know down below what you think of these makeup tutorials. I think I'm gonna tell me what you like and then what you think I can improve on with them, because I do think I want to keep doing them because I have things to say. It's just very hard for me to put it into a makeup tutorial where I feel like I'm benefiting people. So yeah, let me know down below, and I will see you next time. Bye. I give props to these serious YouTubers who do these glam shots all the time. I can't take myself seriously with this, but I hope you saw it. I hope you like it.